Hello friends, I am Sumit. In the morning when I opened laptop, I saw this Google Doodle. Today it's 22nd April and 22nd April every year is celebrated as Earth Day. Uh, this day is celebrated to remind all of us to understand the importance of environment which we inhabit. So it is our responsibility to protect it in whatever way it is possible, to restore the degraded ecosystems, to take every single step uh, available at our disposal uh, to increase the level of biodiversity, to basically to make this environment resilient against the climate change. So climate change is a reality. uh, we cannot escape from that. In my couple of videos I've talked about it at length. So in that Google Doodle, I saw that basically uh, several glaciers were shown retreating year after year in that Google Doodle. So glaciers of Antarctica, glaciers of Greenland, uh, this glacier on this right on this summit of Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, in Kenya. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about the primarily, I'm going to talk about the climate change, what disastrous effects it could have on several things. Generally, we when we talk about climate change, it connotes prima facie. It appears that it is only about rise in the temperature. Well, yes, but it connotes several things. It means disappearance of several coastal cities. It means disappearance of overseas territories, islands. It means decrease in the level of biodiversity. It means uh, it means higher frequency of heat waves. It means higher frequency of flash floods. It means higher frequency of droughts. Uh, it means utter chaos. Trust me, because it means shortage of water. We cannot survive without water. In years to come, there will be scarcity of water. 71% of Earth, though 71% of Earth is covered with water, but only 3% of it is only fresh water, right? So, because largely, largely, uh, large proportion of the water is in oceans, and that is not potable water. So, whatever water we have, be it groundwater or water stored in the form of water stored in glaciers, water, if whatever proportion of water there is in atmosphere, only that is potable. So there would be shortage of water resources in years to come. So I think climate change is a topic which we should talk about very seriously. We should incorporate um, whatever little changes, whatever behavioral changes we need to practice, that we should practice from today itself. Every year we hear several stories. You see, there is I tell you, in Antarctica there is one glacier which is known as Thwaites Glacier. So I think it is on the western flank of the southwestern Antarctica, and it is also known as Doomsday Glacier. So what is Doomsday? The day which would render Earth doomed. वो दिन जब अर्थ के सामने कयामत आएगी, उस दिन को हम डूम्सडे बोलते हैं. तो अगर थ्वेट्स ग्लेशियर एक वो उस तरीके का ग्लेशियर है. थ्वेट्स ग्लेशियर इज सच ग्लेशियर विच इज़ वेरी ह्यूज इन साइज. Apparently, it is larger than the city of Florida. So, because of this very size of this glacier, if this glacier melts soon, then this is going to raise the sea level of this Earth by a margin which would really which would really make several islands and coastal cities uh, vulnerable. And that is why it is known as Doomsday Glacier. And not just this. I mean, this is such glacier which is holding other adjacent glaciers. So if it is going to collapse, then other glaciers are going to move very fast and they are going to melt faster. So this would somehow start that domino effect. So this is what this, you can consider it as the first domino in the whole chain. So if one domino is going to fall, then other would not be spared either. So this is about retreating of glaciers. Now let me talk about the effect of climate change on crops, on agriculture, on food crops. So each crop has some conducive conditions. So say wheat may have a different conducive condition than rice. So if there would be a disturbance in the number of days of rainfall in years to come, maybe not in our lifetime, but maybe maybe after 100 or 150 years, then it is going to uh, it is going to affect the production of such crops. uh, it is going to cause food scarcity. And now let me talk about the biodiversity. So several species of earth inhabit only particular parts of the world. So if if we would be witnessing change in the temperature, then those species would be moving to other parts of the world. Some of them may not be able to do that, and some of them may be able to do. And then there would be cutthroat competition for limited resources they would be needing. So it would be utter chaos. Already we are witnessing extinction of a few endangered critical endangered species. uh, in last few decades we have seen few, I mean, extinction of few endangered critical endangered species. So I mean, climate change is not the only factor which can be attributed behind the extinction of such species, but yes, it is one of those factors. Habitat destruction can be the other reason, though habitat destruction is somehow is also indirectly related to the climate change. So I told you the effect of climate change on agriculture, on islands, on biodiversity, and you know you'll be surprised that basically USA, Canada, these two countries are located at a higher latitude. So that's why winters are quite. I mean, you witness very intense winter in these two countries and countries of such sort. But last year in summer, we witnessed very severe heat waves in both the countries. So it was because of heat dome. I'll take some other video. I'll prepare some other video on that topic. That would take another 10 minutes, I think. What is heat dome, and why, after all, why Western USA face this face this disastrous effect of heat dome. So we are going to witness a very high frequency of heat waves, uh, droughts, flash floods, and you know, I think countries should come forward and should I wrote this, I read this very good quote that it's better that we pay the bill today instead of paying it later, because we have already delayed. Okay, so I'll tell you one thing. See, uh, basically, climate change started taking place only 19th century onwards, if I'm not wrong. So what exactly happened in 19 at the beginning of 19th century? You see, industrial revolution started in Europe in what I think 18th century, and only thereafter onwards, from 1750 onwards or early 1800, uh, people of the world started using natural resources. Uh, uh, in particular, I'm talking about fossil fuels. So fossil fuels, burning of fossil fuels generate greenhouse gas emissions. So greenhouse gas emissions are those gases which which trap the terrestrial radiation. So basically, some waves are shorter in wavelength, and other few waves are larger in wavelength. So greenhouse gas emissions basically traps uh, those those radiations which are higher, which are larger in wavelength. So that is why, with the burning of those fossil fuels, we burn fossil fuels for a number of reasons. We burn coal to generate electricity. We you know we uh, we burn coal uh, to process the goods in industrial sector. So like, when we use fertilizers in agriculture sector, then in the manufacturing of fertilizers you are going to use some chemicals, and those chemicals are made, um, are made out of uh, those those natural resources. So that's why, I think reduction of reduction in the usage of those fossil fuels uh, should be the first step. Already several organizations are taking measures in this regard. We have several international organizations, international conventions in place who are taking care of this. But even if we so like, in Paris Agreement, which took place in 2015, it was decided that countries across the world should seek to reduce the change in temperature, average temperature across the world, uh, should limit the change in average temperature across the world to 1.5 degree Celsius. uh, because they feel that if we go beyond that, then it would literally threaten those island communities. So, but now reports are suggesting that we have already reached that level, that even if we take all those remedial steps which have been suggested by several policy think tanks, several scientific bodies, even in that case, by the end of this century, we are going to witness increase of 3.2 degree Celsius, increase of temperature by 3.2 degrees Celsius. So here the base year is this 1800, if I'm not wrong. I mean those. I mean the 19th century, the beginning of 19th century. So we have taken that as a base year. So whenever we say that that Earth should not witness more than this, should not witness more than this much of temperature. So we compare it with respect to that particular base year, and that is this beginning of 19th century. Correct me if I'm wrong, because we started burning fossil fuels because of the industrial revolution from that century onwards, from that period onwards only. So the sizable, I mean, the climate, the temperature started soaring up only from that time onwards. So already we are too late. And I may not, I mean the I mean I the effects which I've discussed in this short video, the list is not, I think that the list which has been discussed in this video is not exhaustive. There can be, there will be so much effects on so many things because of this climate change. But all I know is that this is going to be very disastrous for the entire humankind. And at least if not in our lifetime, it is going to be very very difficult for the generations to come. So we need to consider that intergenerational consideration. We need to consider intergenerational aspects as well. So I hope I hope the entire world community comes together and do something about it. I love Himalayas. Whenever I get time, I just I always look up for the opportunity to go there. And it's very heartening to read that in years to come, Himalayas, which are Himalayas provide you water throughout the year, unlike southern part of the, I mean, the rivers which are in the southern part of India. Generally you find those rivers flowing with water during monsoon. but Himalayas provide you perennial water streams. Perennial means throughout the year, because every winter those glaciers, are get deposited by fresh snow. But with the climate change, initially, yes, the rivers in the Himalayas are going to witness, in fact, more flow of water. But after that, after certain point of time, even that is going to that is also not going to be the case. So maybe after hundreds of years, but yes, in Himalayas also glaciers are going to retreat. I mean, I've been to Harsil, and Harsil is just few kilometers away from Gangotri, where you will see Gangotri Glacier, and Gangotri Glacier has been retreated by few meters in past 20 years. So glaciers are retreating. That is the grim reality, and we need to be aware of it. And not just glaciers. I mean, we have been reading the reports that even springs, Himalayan springs, are depleting. So Himalayas are surprising. They are going to witness scarcity of water. Already life is very tough there, and apart from that, every second or third year we see forest fires in in Uttarakhand or Himachal. Uttarakhand has 45% of Uttarakhand is covered with forest. So almost half of Uttarakhand is covered with forest, and every second, third year we witness forest fires. Yes, there can be number of reasons, not just not there can be natural reasons for that also. Generally, these cherry trees, they catch fire very easily because the leaves of cherry tree are inflammable. That is one case, but yes, but it is also because of the rise in the temperature. So that's one thing. So it was about this only. Thank you so much for your time.